Welcome back. Now we can study the mechanism of nucleophile substitution reaction. This reaction proceeds through two different ways. First one SN1 mechanism and the second one is SN2 mechanism. Now we can start with SN2 mechanism. In SN2, S stands for substitution, N stands for nucleophilic and 2 stands for bimolecular. I'll explain SN2 reaction with an example. We have a reaction between CS3Cl, that is methyl chloride, and sodium hydroxide to yield methanol and sodium chloride. Here sodium hydroxide is a strong base now, and hydroxyl group is a nucleophile here. And this reaction follows second order kinetics. What does that mean? The rate of the reaction depends on concentration of both substrate and nucleophile. This means both alkyl halide and nucleophile are there in rate determining step. So the reaction is bimolecular. Okay. So we can start the mechanism now. Here you can see the three-dimensional picture of methyl chloride. And this bond, that is the solid wedge, represent the bond towards you. That means the bond coming out of the paper. Here paper is not there, so the screen no. The bond represent, it represent the bond coming out of the screen. And dash line going away from you. I can say that the dash line going down the screen. Okay. And the straight line represent the bond in the plane of the screen or plane of the paper. Okay, you got that, no? And you can see this point, no? That represent carbon atom. So here hydroxy group is a nucleophile and it can attack carbon atom in two different directions. That is through front side or through back. If the hydroxyl group, and we know that it have a negative charge, is attacking through the front side, the halogen atom is also with a negative charge is also present in the front side. And there will be repulsion between these negative charges, these two negative charges, that is halogen and hydroxyl group. So the front attack is not possible here, no? So the hydroxyl group attack carbon atom through back, that means opposite side. When the incoming nucleophile interact with alkyl halide through back, the carbon halogen bond weakens and at the same time carbon hydroxyl bond, OH bond, carbon OH bond start to form. These two processes take place simultaneously in a single step and no intermediate is formed here. In this transition state, the carbon atom is simultaneously bonded to incoming nucleophile and outgoing leaving group. That is, the carbon is bonded to 5 different groups at the same time. Therefore, this transition state is very unstable with very high energy and this state cannot be isolated. As the reaction progresses, the bond between carbon atom and the leaving group breaks and a new bond formed between the carbon atom and hydroxyl group. And this bond formed from the opposite side of carbon halogen bond. As this happens, the configuration of carbon atom inverts in the same way as an umbrella is turned inside out when caught in a strong wind. I'll explain this with a diagram. Here the red dot represents the incoming hydroxide ion, that is hydroxyl ion. Green dot represents the outgoing halide ion. Blue dot represents carbon atom and yellow dots represent hydrogen atom. You can see that when the hydroxyl group is approaching the alkyl halide from the opposite side, that is the first part, no? The hydrogen atoms are moving away from the approaching nucleophile. In the second part you can see this. And in the third part you can see that direction of CH bond has changed. That is, the configuration of carbon atom inverts. This helps the carbon atom to push away the leaving group also. Since this reaction requires the approach of nucleophile to the carbon atom having the leaving group, the substituent present in the carbon atom have great effect on rate of SN2 reaction. That is, if bulky groups are present in the carbon atom, it inhibits the approach of nucleophile to the carbon atom. Tertiary halides are least reactive because bulky groups hinder the approaching nucleophile. Methyl halides is the simplest alkyl halide which react most rapidly in SN2 reaction because there are only 3 small hydrogen atoms present in the carbon atom now. So the order of reactivity of SN2 mechanism is methyl halide greater than all other primary halides, greater than secondary halide, then greater than tertiary halide. Rate of reaction depends on one more factor, that is the leaving group present in the substrate molecule. And the leaving group is halogen, no? Because substrate is alkyl halide. If a better leaving group is there, it will released at a faster rate in the presence of incoming nucleophile. Thus, rate of SN2 reaction increases. Because of the larger size, iodine is a better leaving group. So, rate of reaction is faster when the substrate is alkyl iodide. The rate decreases in the order alkyl iodide greater than alkyl bromide greater than alkyl chloride greater than alkyl fluoride. So we can conclude that SN2 is a second order reaction. That is, both substrate and nucleophile are there in the rate determining step. Or we can say rate is equal to K into concentration of substrate molecule into concentration of nucleophile. Second one, 100% inversion of product take place in SN2 mechanism because of the back or opposite side attack of nucleophile. Third one, it is carried out in a single step. Fourth one, presence of bulkier group inhibits the rate of reaction. The order of reactivity is in the order primary greater than secondary greater than tertiary halides. Fifth one, as the size of halogen in the haloalkane increases, the rate also increases. The rate decreases in the order alkyl iodide greater than alkyl bromide greater than alkyl chloride, which is again greater than alkyl fluoride. Now SN1 mechanism. In SN1 mechanism, S stands for substitution, N stands for nucleophilic and 1 stands for unimolecular. So substitution, nucleophilic, unimolecular. SN1 reactions carried out in polar protic solvents. That is, the solvent which are polar and should generate H plus ions, that is protons, no? For example, water molecule, alcohol, acetic acid, etc. For example, the reaction between tertiary butyl bromide and hydroxide ion yield tertiary butyl alcohol. This reaction follows SN1 mechanism. And this is a first order reaction. That is, the rate of reaction depends upon the concentration of substrate only. Here substrate is tertiary butyl bromide. This reaction can be written as CS3 thrice CBr, that is the tertiary butyl bromide, plus OH minus, you are getting CS3 thrice COH. Here bromine is substituted with the OH minus and plus Br minus is obtained. This reaction carried out in 2 steps. First step, formation of carbocation. The carbon Br bond, CBr bond, which is actually polarized bond, no? Because the more electronegative bromine pulls the electron pair towards itself and attain a negative charge, partial negative charge, and carbon get a partial positive charge. That is, they get polarized. And that polarized carbon bromine bond undergoes slow cleavage to produce a carbocation and a bromide ion. The step is reversible also. So here the reactant, that is tertiary butyl bromide, is sp3 hybridized, and we know that the geometry of tertiary butyl bromide is tetrahedral, is it? And when it form carbocation, when it releases bromide ion, carbocation is forming, no? That carbocation's geometry is trigonal planar in shape. That is, all the substituents and carbon atom lying in the same plane. Okay, so geometry has changed. Next one, the second step now, the newly formed carbocation then attacked by nucleophile. Here carbocation is trigonal planar in shape, so the OH minus can attack through front side or back in the same way. First step is the slower step. Since the rate of reaction depends upon slower step, that is formation of carbocation now, there only substrate molecule is present, that is CS3 thrice CBr is there. So a rate of reaction depends only on the concentration of alkyl halide and not on the concentration of hydroxide ion. Greater the stability of carbocation, greater will be its ease of formation from the alkyl halide, and faster will be the rate of reaction. In the case of alkyl halide, the stability order of carbocation is tertiary halide greater than secondary halide greater than primary halide greater than methyl halides. Allylic and benzylic halides show high reactivity towards SN1 reaction because the carbocations formed from allylic and benzylic halides are stabilized through resonance. You can see the resonance structure on the screen now. For a given alkyl group, the reactivity of halides, that is alkyl halides, follows the same order in both the mechanism, that is SN1 and SN2 mechanisms. The rate of reaction in the order alkyl iodide greater than alkyl bromide greater than alkyl chloride greater than alkyl fluoride. Now we can study the mechanism in the three-dimensional way. So we are taking one optical active compound as an example. Optically active compounds are compounds rotates the plane polarized light when it is passed through their solutions. If the compound rotates the plane polarized light towards right, it is called dextrorotatory or the D form, and it can be indicated by a plus sign before the degree of rotation. If the compound rotates the plane polarized light towards left, it is called levorotatory or the L form. It can be indicated by a negative sign. These plus and minus isomers are called optical isomers. We can easily understand an optically active compound. They possess an asymmetric carbon atom. That is, if all the substituents attached to the central atom are different, it is said to be asymmetric carbon atom. SN1 mechanism. I will show the mechanism with an optically active compound. This is an optically active compound because this carbon atom now, that is asymmetric carbon atom. That means all the substituent bonded to the carbon atom are different. Here hydrogen, methyl group, ethyl group and bromine is there. All the four are different. So this carbon atom is called by asymmetric center or asymmetric carbon atom. And one more thing is that the carbon atom is sp3 hybridized because only single bonds are there now. Here all the four bonds are single bond. So the geometry, sp3 means tetrahedral geometry. And the solid wedge represent, this is a solid wedge which represent the bond coming out of the paper. That means C2H5 will lie above the plane of the paper, here somewhat above. Okay, and this one dashed line going down the paper, that means CS3 lie behind the paper. And straight line represent the bond in the plane of the paper, that means CH and CBr lying in this paper itself. Okay, this mechanism is carried out in two steps. First one, formation of carbocation. When nucleophile, here nucleophile is OH minus, we are taking OH minus as a nucleophile. When it approaches carbon atom, what will happen to this bond? Carbon Br bond breaks and electrolytic bond cleavage taking place. That means the electron pair will move to bromine atom and bromine attain a negative charge. Okay, that means the bromine moves away with a pair of electron and attain negative charge. Okay, and what happened to the carbon atom? Carbon atom, by losing one electron, it attained a positive charge. Okay, and so carbon, I am writing positive charge is here. Then three substituents are there now. This is hydrogen and CH3 is here and C2H5. When bromine Br minus is eliminated from the substrate, all the substituent rearranges its position and geometry of the compound changes to trigonal planar. I have drawn here straight line only now. That means all these substituents are lying in the same plane. Okay, so you are getting trigonal planar configuration. That means the carbocation is having trigonal planar shape. Okay. Now second step. Okay, first step, a formation of carbocation is formed here. No. So second step, I am writing the carbocation again here. You can see that, no. So here CH3 is there, C2H5 is here and hydrogen also here and the plus charge in the carbon atom. Okay, so this is the carbocation with the planar shape. The carbon cation is attacked by nucleophile here, no, that is the second one. And because the carbocation is planar configuration, both front and back side attacks are possible. That means OH group can attack through front side, this is the front side, or through back. Both are possible. Okay, and when it same side means the same side as the halogen atom is there. So front side attack means attack through the same side as the halogen was there. Okay. So when it attack through the front side, all the substituents that lie in the same plane move to the opposite side. That means when it attack through this side, all these three substituents move to this opposite side. That means in this way, as the original side, they will move to the original side. So you are getting a compound which is having a configuration like this way. CS3 will be here, H will be here, and solid wedge. In solid wedge C2H5 was there now. So here also C2H5. Okay, the position is retained here now, and here OH minus E. So here retention of configuration taking place. That is retention. Because all the three substituents are lying in the same place itself, no. So, and the next case, when the hydroxyl ion, the nucleophile attack through the opposite direction, no, of the leaving group. Okay, so what will happen? Here also when the hydroxyl group attack through this side, all these substituents move away from the nucleophile, and you are getting a configuration, a compound like this way. The OH will be attaching to this side, so all the molecules, all the groups present in the carbon atom will move away from hydroxyl group, and so here hydrogen is here and dash line CS3 is here, then solid wedge In solid bed C2H5 is here. So what is happening actually here? Opposite, the configuration has changed, no? So here we can say that inversion of configuration taking place. Okay, I'll write inversion. Here inversion of configuration taking place, whereas here retention of configuration taking place. Write it in a neat way. Retention. Oh, sorry, not retention, inversion. So both inversion and retention of configurations are there. We can say racemization taking place here because both configurations are there now. Or racemic mixtures obtained by this reaction. This is racemic mixture. In SN1 reaction, you are getting racemic mixtures. Whereas in SN2 mechanism, 100% inversion of product taking place. So we can conclude that SN1 reaction is a first order reaction. That is, only substrate molecule is there in rate determining step. Rate is equal to K into concentration of substrate. Second point, you are getting racemic mixtures. That is, compound with the retention and inversion of configuration is there. Third point, SN1 reaction is carried out in two steps. First one, carbocation formation. Second one, the carbocation is attached by nucleophile to complete the substitution reaction. Fourth point, the stability of carbocation increases, the rate of reaction also increases. In the case of alkyl halide, the stability order of carbocation is tertiary halide greater than secondary halide greater than primary halide greater than methyl halide. Fifth point, as the size of halogen in haloalkane increases, the rate also increases. And the rate decreases in the order alkyl iodide greater than alkyl bromide greater than alkyl chloride greater than alkyl fluoride. Next point, SN1 reaction is carried out in polar protic solvents like water, alcohol, acetic acid, etc. and have a weak electrophile. We are using a weak electrophile in SN1 mechanism. Now we can compare SN1 and SN2 reactions. SN1 reaction is a first order reaction, whereas SN2 is a second order reaction. SN1 is unimolecular nucleophile substitution reaction and SN2 is a bimolecular nucleophile substitution reaction. SN1 follows two steps. That means two-step reaction are there. Whereas SN2 is single step process. Rate of SN1 reaction depends only on substrate molecules. That is, rate is equal to K into concentration of substrate molecule. Whereas rate of SN2 reaction depends on both substrate molecule as well as nucleophile. That is, R is equal to K into concentration of substrate molecule into concentration of nucleophile. Stability of carbocation increases the rate of SN1 reaction. In the case of alkyl halides, the stability order of carbocation is tertiary halide greater than secondary halide greater than primary halide greater than methyl halide. Presence of bulkier group inhibits the rate of SN2 reaction. The order of reactivity is methyl halide greater than primary halide greater than secondary halide greater than tertiary halide. It is just opposite of SN1 reaction. Next point, the products obtained in SN1 reaction is racemic mixtures. That is, compounds with retention and inversion of configurations are there. 100% inversion of configuration of product taking place in SN2 mechanism. Next point, the order of reactivity with respect to leaving group. Here leaving group is halogen, no? Is iodine greater than bromine greater than chlorine greater than fluorine. Same order is followed in SN2 mechanism also, that is iodine greater than bromine greater than chlorine greater than fluorine. Next one, the SN1 mechanism tends to proceed with weak nucleophiles, whereas SN2 tends to proceed with the strong nucleophiles. Next one, SN1 tends to proceed in polar protic solvents like water, acetic acid, alcohols, etc. And the SN2 reactions are favored by polar aprotic solvents like acetone, acetonitriles, etc. These are the difference between SN1 and SN2 reactions. Hope you understand this topic. Thank you for watching.